and welcome to our 2024 holiday special from us here at Instant Transmission. Tonight's episode will be quick as we give you all a quick rundown of what Todd and I would like for Christmas from the Dragon Ball universe. We'll give you our favorite item we'd like to see wrapped up, as well as an ability or power we'd like to be gifted. We'll even list out what coal would be in our stocking in the form of our heroic or villainous downfall or weakness. With all that covered, was there anything you wanted to add before we got things started, Todd?
No, I think that's a perfect summary. Let's see. So should I kick this off with my 3 items?
Yeah. So it's going to be an item or something you'd wish for. It'd be a super ability or power. And then it would be what downfall or what coal you might receive with these gifts or instead of these gifts.
All right. So we're going to do my 3, then we're going to do Dayton's 3 so that everybody gets the full picture here. So beginning with, we'll start with my item. So if I had one item that I could get in underneath the Christmas tree from the Dragon Ball universe, I went through a couple different options in my head of I thought like maybe the power pole, maybe the holy water. I thought maybe even all of the Dragon Balls, but thought that might be stretching things. So,
which is basically whatever you're wishing for more wishes. I like it.
Exactly. Yeah. But the one that I ended up going with that made the most sense and I thought would be the most practical, whether we're talking about in the real world or even in the Dragon Ball world, was a capsule, specifically a capsule house, so that I could more or less travel around wherever the hell I want, pop that capsule and be like, all right, here's my house. I can sleep, shower, do whatever the hell I want.
That is much more modest and like reasonable than kind of what I was looking at. Okay. I mean, like just for living in today's world, being able to just take your house and go somewhere sounds freaking amazing. I just moved a couple of years ago. Moving is the most miserable experience of well, I'm not gonna say the most, but it's one of the most miserable experiences I've had. It takes days worth of work. You have to call in whatever favors you got. Like stuff breaks. It's expensive. There's nothing good about moving.
Yeah, and for somebody personally who has moved a lot over the past 10 years, maybe that's one of the reasons why it kind of stuck out in my head. But I even thought about like, oh, it'd be cool to have like a capsule plane or car or spaceship, but I think the one that really I think would be the most useful would be a house. You can just travel around, go wherever you want, and just plop that thing out in an open field or a park or something, and you got your house.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, you don't have to worry. Like, say if you're going somewhere, you're going out of town or whatever, and you need to bring your house with you, you can do that. All your stuff's there, and you don't have to worry about anything happening to your house because you always got it on hand. That's so nice.
Yeah. When I was thinking about items, I think that's the one that kind of stuck out in my head the most. So I guess we'll move on to the power that I would love to get underneath the tree for Christmas. I'm just going to say briefly, one of the other powers that I thought about as kind of a runner-up was Piccolo's clothes beam.
Rarely used, but definitely underutilized.
Yes, 100%. Not having to worry about my clothes ever again would be fantastic.
It saves a lot of time and it saves a lot of money.
Yes, but that was the runner-up behind my actual choice for my power, which was the instant transmission. I mean,
that's a good one. Nice plug. Way to go. 10 out of 10. That was excellent. I like that.
It's hilarious because I didn't even think about that. But yes, podcast title drop. The instant transmission, just again, either in the Dragon Ball universe or in our everyday world, being able to just teleport wherever the hell you want at the drop of a hat is like absolutely incredible. I guess there would be the sort of weird caveat in the real world of like you have to lock on to somebody else's power or energy. So hopefully that kind of comes along for the ride as part of the ability.
I assume that if you wish for the power, you have the ability to use the power. So I'll let it slide.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and I like this because you just mentioned like you thought about a car. You don't need a car now. Like you can just be wherever you need to be. So you don't need a car and your house comes with you. That's pretty, you could just be living in Europe like for a week and then decide to pack up and move to South America the next week and just you could explore the entire world and it wouldn't man, you've got this sorted out pretty well. I'm impressed.
Yeah, they've got some great synergy there together too, right? Between having the capsule house and just being able to teleport around. So I mean, it's as far as just I mean, travel to me, especially in the more recent years, has been very important. So I think that that's probably sticking out in my head as like, I mean, in the especially if we're talking about using powers in the real world, like being able to punch somebody real good is not going to help you in the real world. In the Dragon Ball universe, that would be really fucking cool, though.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, what are they going to do? Put you in jail? They can't stop you. I think that's how you instantly become the villain, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's fair enough. I'm really curious though, like with these two powers, like with the ability to travel the world and stay wherever you want, and kind of like you can set up routes wherever you want for however long you want. What's your downfall? Like, what's the coal in your stocking?
This was the one. So those two were honestly super easy for me. The power and the item. The drawback was the one I had the hardest time with. The only thing that I ended up coming up with is that I tied it to the power specifically, which seemed the easiest for me. So every time I use instant transmission, I have to sleep for 8 hours to recover.
Okay. I like that.
So it's like the way I imagine it is that immediately after using instant transmission, I am unconscious, knocked out.
So you're not like living in say the US somewhere and you're not going to teleport to France and grab a nice hot baguette and then teleport back or anything like that.
Exactly. It's not that easy, not that simple. So like what if we're talking about in the real world, hopefully I either know somebody where I'm going or I'm using instant transmission to take somebody with me, because otherwise I'm just knocked out wherever I go. And then if we're talking about the Dragon Ball world, you're not going to be using that for combat, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I like that downside. And it kind of puts restraints on what is otherwise a very unrestrained power that you asked for. So I do kind of like that. It kind of makes you think about like, all right, if I'm going to go here, I need to be prepared to spend 48 hours there.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Like you said, instant transmission as it stands in the Dragon Ball world doesn't really have a lot of downsides. So it's nice to imagine it with some sort of downside, and that was probably the most, I don't know, the only one that I could think of that really made a lot of sense.
Okay, yeah, I dig that. And I think those are your three. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into my three over here. And so it's item, power, and downfall, or the coal in our stocking. And the item I'm wishing for is it. I thought about this. I don't know how much of it I can utilize, but I think the angel staff is pretty freaking rad.
Ooh.
The ability to like project locations and like be able to peer into the future and past is kind of stinking rad. I don't know if it's a technique or if it's the staff that lets you travel like across great distances either. But if that comes with it, awesome. If not, just the ability to just like look anywhere and look into the future and that's so wild. What a cool thing. So I would love to have the angel attendant staff or whatever it's called.
That's a good one. That's real powerful. And it's not that there are ever going to be capsule houses in the real world necessarily, but I feel like the staff is something that like I don't think we surely ever in the real world are going to have magic that lets us see into the past and future.
Right? Like, would it be like rad to be like, hey, what did the dinosaurs look like? And just be able to peer back and see that?
That would be pretty slick. I'd be a little scared to use it, especially like peering into the future and stuff, but it would be pretty damn cool regardless.
I like it just because it's not, I guess that there is that like time rewind thing it can do, that like 12-second rewind or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
But it's not like strong time travel where I can just go wherever I want in time. It's like I can look at it, but I can't really interact with it, sort of thing. So it's there is kind of a limit to it, but it is just kind of a knowledge bomb.
Yeah, shit. I didn't even think about if you get the rewind with that staff, man. There's a number of conversations in my life where I would be like,
Or I'm gonna go Grand Theft Auto for 12 seconds and then load that save.
that would be awesome.
Let's just hope it works.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
power. And power was an interesting one. And I went with kind of a weird skew on this one. I mean, in a way, you could argue that this is also an item. I went with the power of being an android. And I love the idea of never being tired.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's like like you said, it could arguably be an item too, but I like that one because yeah, it comes with a lot of benefits. I mean, infinite energy, not tired. I don't think they need to eat, as far as I know. Like, there's lots of upsides.
Yeah, they seem to just go. Like it's I didn't perceive a downside. I mean, if for some reason got thrown into the Dragon Ball universe, like they also can't sense my energy and I could hide like a coward, no problem, and I could hide for forever. So like it'd work out for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could argue that if you were made by Dr. Gero, maybe you have a bomb in your chest, but I don't
That's true. But yeah, I thought the Android, and part of it might be because I'm a recent parent and sleep's been pretty sparse. So the idea of not needing to sleep solves a lot of my issues.
See, I think we're both thinking in ways that are very pertinent to our real lives in the real world right now.
um,
So,
and for me, this one was tough. 'Cause coming up with a downfall for this item slash power combo, or infinite energy combo, and the downside that I put in here is that everything I wish for is not really like helping me really do anything. So I don't actually get any success from having any of this. I'm still just the normal person I am. I just have more energy and can stay up. So the downside I went with was kind of similar to yours, where everything runs on batteries.
oh. When you say everything, as in like you have to replace batteries in yourself?
Yeah. So I would just basically, when I get tired, just pop in a new battery and keep going. But I do have to remember to pop in batteries.
Yeah, I mean that could be especially if you do forget and then you power down. It's like, well, hopefully you got somebody to change your battery.
Someone's got to come change those batteries. So it's kind of this like I have unlimited energy, but I need to remember to swap in and out those batteries.
Yeah, and then there could be the question of like, what does your battery compartment look like? Like, is it something like big and
I'll
bulky
show
on
you
your
later.
body somewhere? Is it what?
Nothing.
Uh,
No, it was a weird one. Another one I was thinking about for it was just that, like, I don't know. It's such a weird one with these two because I love the synergy of being able to um know so much and be able to constantly go, but there's got to be something that like kind of reins it all back a little bit. So maybe I'm not doing like Dr. Gero level Android. I'm doing like a step down from that where, I'm like a plug-in hybrid.
yeah, yeah, I could see that. Maybe you're more like Ader. I think even Ader was plugged in at some point when he was found in OG Dragon Ball. So
Yeah, something more along the lines of that.
that's cool. It yeah, yours have like there's good synergy in the ones that you created with with the power and the downfall. I like the downfall a lot. Um, that's really fun. It's funny to see the different routes that you and I took. They're wildly different.
And I like that both of ours were a little bit more like based in things that aren't fighting related because that doesn't get you very far in our world, right? We're not being transported to the Dragon Ball world. We're still living here. So being able to Kamehameha wave or solar flare or any of that stuff doesn't really help you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how I was trying to think about it. I was trying to think honestly, even if I were in like the Dragon Ball universe, if I were just like a person living on Earth in that universe, like still being able to teleport and having a capsule house would be really fucking useful for me. So either way, as long as I'm not fighting the freezes of the universe, this is pretty handy.
Or just things like, hey, like I'm gonna look at my staff, like, is this car gonna break down a lot or no? Let me go ahead and look. Okay, yep, this one's a dud. I'm gonna go get a different car.
Yeah, yeah. There's lots of value to that staff, especially like you said. There are some things that Weiss does that are arguably you're not sure if they're like the staff specifically or a technique. So like if you get the rewind and the flying with the staff, that's like you almost get if you get the transportation with the staff, that's almost like getting the instant transmission. It's maybe not quite as good, but you're getting everything else on top of it too. So
Yeah, it does so much. I think it's just, I mean, even if I was in the Dragon Ball universe and I needed a fighting item, I would still probably consider using the staff. It's kind of does everything.
I mean, yeah, especially with that rewind power, right? Like if you can use that over and over and over, you can at least not get killed or fix your mistakes.
No, I like yours just because it fits with you picked things that would facilitate your lifestyle so much more easily and also let you explore the world a little bit more too. I know that's something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's a big part of the reason why these ones stuck out to me. And like my power and my item, like you said, kind of go together really well to help facilitate just being able to live a nomadic lifestyle.
Yeah. So yeah. Just to kind of reiterate, I'm taking the angel staff for being able to look places, call people, maybe rewind time and not teleport, but travel around quickly. I'm going with being an android for basically unlimited energy, but I'm giving it the downfall where I have to remember to swap out the batteries every now and then. I don't need to sleep, but like it'd be cool if I could just be like zoop zoop, like in out, back off to the races.
Yes, and just to reiterate my item for my Christmas wish list was a capsule house so that I could just pop my house out wherever I want. My power was instant transmission so that I can kind of teleport around wherever I choose, especially nice combined with the capsule house so I can just go over to Europe or wherever the hell I want to go. And then my downfall or drawback, my little coal in my stocking, was going to be that I immediately upon using instant transmission pass out and fall asleep for 8 hours in order to
I love
recover.
it. That downside's so good. Man, so good.
We both kind of went a similar route, which is pretty funny for the drawback.
I mean, it's stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's other drawbacks I just wasn't thinking of, but time is kind of the most important currency here on this world. So,
and that's really both of ours kind of help us with time in one way, shape, or form. So for sure.
Yep. I agree with you. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's our holiday special. Was there anything you wanted to add before you walk us out of here?
I don't think so. I think that's going to be it for this episode of Instant Transmission and the holiday special, where we discuss everything Dragon Ball. This has been your host, Todd.
And Dayton.
If you guys want to give any of your thoughts about your ideas for items, powers, downfalls, you guys can find us over on, we're over on YouTube, we're on Discord, where you can find our episodes on Spotify. So leave us your ideas in the comments, particularly if you want to come chat with us on Discord. You can find all of our links in the descriptions, and you can find everything connected to Linktree/ITDB podcast. That's linktr.ee/ITDB podcast. Be sure to join us next time as we're probably going to be doing Daima stuff. So you can find us as we release our episodes every Monday. But to all our fellow Dragon Ball fans, stay safe out there, and remember to keep rocking the dragon.
Also, my battery compartment is closed with those little screws that you can never find the right screwdriver for. Like, that's also a part of my downside.
Can't get screwed.
God.